Hello, everybody. Welcome,
Hi.
welcome in.
This
Okay,
is this is going off to a good start.
I know, right? We like, oh, got stuck. So we are here today, as you can see by the thumbnail and the title down below. This is our Granny Square collaboration. Daniel and I have decided to do with you all.
Mhm.
And you want to say anything?
I'm super excited about it.
Me too. Daniel has already made up, well, as of last night, 16 squares, so I can only imagine where he's at now.
Yeah, I haven't counted, but I know I'm a lot more now.
16 as of last night. So he's really excited, guys. So we were talking about doing people sending squares in and making like, you know, a friend blanket, right? A fellow yarny friend blanket. But then in discussing that, we were talking about doing a swap. So there's two options with this collaboration. You can do a granny square swap, which means that we will, whoever sends squares in that wants to also make the friendship blanket will also receive squares. And then there's also just the option to send squares in. So we have some people that already emailed saying they wanted to send in some squares. Well, she's going to send them to me and I will save them for when Daniel comes here in the summertime. He's coming from July 19th to the beginning of August. So when he comes over here to the States, we'll just get, you know, we'll go through and give him his. But with that being said, you have the option. So you can join in on a swap, which means that you have to produce, you know, the same amount of squares that you're going to be receiving, or you can just send squares in, which would be, you know, being a part of our friendship blankets or whatever. But you have to specify that via email, right? And we also want to make sure if you are doing the swap part, that you are committing to actually making the squares as well, right?
Yeah, because a swap is you send in squares and then you'll receive the same amount of squares back. So say you sent 10 squares, you'll receive 10 squares back.
Yeah.
If
We
that
want to
makes
make sure
sense.
that someone's not receiving squares but not sending them, because it wouldn't be fair. You know what I mean? Want me just to go over the
Yeah.
Okay. So then we also, in further discussing, we have 3 different shipping options. So you would be responsible for shipping your own squares in. And since Angela, Daniel, and myself will be meeting up this summer towards the end of Daniel and Ash is coming too, obviously, love Ash. But when they come, it'll be towards the end of their trip, right? So we are asking that the squares be at least Daniel's portion of the squares. Mine don't have to, you know, you don't have to worry about mine if, you know, now. But Daniel, I'm trying to gather his to be able to save money on shipping and give them to him when he's here in New York, in the States. So I'm asking if you can have Daniel's portion at least completed and shipped out by July 19th. Therefore, when he gets here towards the end of July, I will already have them for him and he can take them back to Canada and then back home with him. We have 3 options. If you live in Canada, there is a PO box that Angela has that she's willing to give the PO box address out to people. So if you live in Canada, that will save on shipping your squares. You can ship them to Angela's PO box. Also, Daniel, anybody who lives in the UK can ship theirs to Daniel in the UK, which would save them shipping. And then myself in the US. Anybody in the US can ship them to me. Since we're all going to be meeting up, then we'll just swap out them squares at that time to make it easier. And again, we want all this specified in the email. So whoever wants to participate, please specify. If you're allergic to anything, if you're allergic to wool, we really need to know that, because we want to make sure if you are, especially if you're doing a yarn to swap, sending in squares that none of us are allergic to anything. Me and Daniel aren't allergic to anything. So we can receive any kind of fiber, we're not allergic. But if you are participating in the swap portion of this collaboration, it's important to know if you're allergic to wools or any kind of other fibers. So when we are doing the swap, we can make sure that you are not given a wool. If you are sending in squares, like for the swap part, please specify that there's wool in your squares if there is, so that when we do the swap, we know like who can, which ones are wool, which ones aren't. There was a suggestion, Liz, thank you so much for the suggestion. Instead of everybody just shipping them, like say if we have 10 people or 15 that want to do the swap portion, where you're swapping, you're making them and sending them and you're going to receive them, instead of shipping to 10 different people, Liz suggested that we get them all received, like shipped to myself, or like I said, Angela or whatever, or Daniel. And then once we receive everyone's squares that's participating in the swap portion, we can divide them up, and then you can, we'll let you know that they're all ready, and then you can pay for the shipping to get your package of squares all at once, versus receiving, shipping to 10 different people at 10 different times, not knowing if you're going to get one back. It's just to make things more organized and more easier, and to shave on shipping. Did I say that correctly? I said
yeah. So if you're in the UK, you'll either get squares made by me, or you will not get your squares until I return back from Canada and the States, because it all depends how things work out. Yeah. So you'll either get squares from me, or you'll get them when I return back from the States.
Yeah.
This is if you're in the UK. If you're in the States, then that'll all be worked out.
Yeah. And July 19th isn't going to be the deadline for squares. It'll go on. It's, a little bit longer than that, but that's when Daniel is flying over. So I want to make sure that to help you all with shipping costs, to have the ones that, at least for Daniel, sent and shipped by the 19th of July, so I can give them to him. And then if you want to make more for myself, or if you, whatever the case may be, you can ship those anytime after the 19th would be fine. You can use any granny square pattern. It doesn't have to be standard. You can do standard. If you have a granny book, you can do whatever you would like, any shape or any fiber and any weights. Dan, you want to let them know what we're going to do?
Hang on, let me grab one. So I'm using 4-weight yarn, mostly acrylic. I think I've got 1 or 2 with some wool in, mostly acrylic, and I'm using a 6mm hook. So I'm using my 6mm fowls, and I'm doing 4 rounds using a 4-weight yarn. So it makes a nice size granny square. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'll probably do the same thing. 6mm hook, 4-weight. I'm going to use all acrylic for mine. Well, most of mine will be acrylic, but if I use wool and anything, I'll make sure I just keep it separate so that I know which one's which. But I'm going to do the same thing Daniel's doing, because most of my scrap, I'm going to start with scraps. Honestly, most of my scraps are 4 weights. So yeah. And I'm this is a great stash buster, right? Yeah, and stash buster. Yeah, exactly. If you've got scraps laying around or whatever, it's good. And we're not fussy about your ends being woven in either. No, don't worry about the ends. I mean, if you want to, by all means, go ahead, but it's not a big deal. I can do it. We can do them when we, he can do his, but I can do mine when we're doing our blanket, that's not a big deal at all. Exactly. I'm excited about this. I really am. I'm like, woohoo. Like having just a piece from that is a little bit of everybody's work, and just seeing all the different unique squares. I want it to look like it came from a bunch of different people. That's my goal, Exactly. And not only, like, for me, like, I just kind of came onto this collaboration just because I thought it was a good idea. I hope Melissa doesn't think I butted in. No, not at all. I thought this is a great memory of mine and Ash's trip to the States and Canada, getting everyone's work from Canada and the States into one blanket. I thought it was a great memory. I think so too, especially because it's starting the same time that you're around the time right before you're coming to the States. So like you said, bringing something back to home from all of your fiber friends in the States and Canada and in UK. I think it's a memorabilia from your trip, you guys' trip. Exactly. I'm super excited. Like as soon as me and Melissa Melissa, because it started with Melissa on her own. As soon as Melissa mentioned it in one of her lives, I was like, right, I'm starting these granny squares. So I started like 5 done.
10 done, 16 done. I'm like, it's been one day. Oh my, go Daniel, go Daniel.
Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on my like 4th granny square today already, and I've only been up an hour, so I'm not doing too bad.
He's like, I might have to ship them depending on if I keep going like this.
No, I will have to ship them. If you see how many I've got right now, I'll have to ship
In
them.
just 2 days. I mean, imagine by the time before your trip,
Right. I'm
you
super
need room in
excited.
those cases for yarn to go back with you.
Right,
Clothes
right.
to come here with, I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're really excited about this. So we hope that you all are just as excited as we are from my live yesterday on 4/26/22. Everyone seemed to be interested and wanted to participate, which your reaction to it was great. It made us more excited about it. So
Yeah.
please email, you can email me or Daniel. We're both going to post this video on our channels, so everyone will have more people that can see it. But if you're interested, email us, let us know that you're interested in participating in the Granny Square collaboration with Daniel and myself. If you're in that email, please include, because sometimes the email differs from your real name, so make sure you include your real full name so we know who you are. If you have any allergies, if you're interested in the swap portion of it or just sending in your squares. You don't have to do with a swap. You can send in squares. I've done that with Dezola Designs. I was sending in squares to her last year. So you don't have to do a swap, whatever you choose to do, but just please specify what you would like to do, and we can go from there.
Yes, and please note, if you are participating in the swap, you will be responsible for your own shipping. So as Melissa said, Melissa will receive all the squares, and then Melissa will let you know how much your shipping will cost to get your swap squares back to you.
Yeah. So if you send me 10 squares, I'll wait until I get all 10 of yours to return back to you. Once I get those 10, I will email you and let you know, okay, I got everybody else's squares in, I separated them into 10s or whatever it may be, whatever amount. If you want to send 3, I mean, it's totally up to you. Whatever amount you can send, more than 10, that we're leaving all them up to you. But yes, you will be responsible for your own shipping. Thank you for specifying that, Daniel. Yeah. So just include all of that information in your email. And when shipping your squares, please put a little note in there, 100% acrylic. If you have a mixture, we just ask that you separate them, maybe like a little sandwich bag that says wool, square, wool, squares, acrylic, just because we want to keep wool separate from acrylic for those that are allergic to wool.
Yeah, and also if there's specific squares that you want me or Melissa to have, again, put them separately in sandwich bags labeled with our names.
Yes.
So Melissa will know these are for Melissa, these are for Daniel.
Good point.
If not, if you're just happy for me and Melissa just to split them, whatever, then just pop a note in there saying happy for you to do what you want with.
Yep. Thank you, because we would have forgot that. Good one. Trying to think, is there anything else?
No, I don't think so.
And if anybody has any questions, if there's something that we forgot, because we may have, just ask us, put it in the comments below our videos. Email us, please, with the information that we're requesting. And have fun doing this. Like I said, there's no deadline right now. There's no set deadline to it, except for if you're sending some in, whether it's swap or in for Daniel, we're trying to get him his when he gets here. So that's July 19th. But any other questions? Yeah, no, go ahead.
Unless you're happy to pay for international shipping, then July 19th is the deadline.
Yeah, for Daniel's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But if you're willing to pay for the shipping after July 19th to UK, absolutely, you can ship them out that way as well.
Mm-hmm. But
if there's anything that we left out or you have any questions, feel free to ask us. You can email us both. Both of our emails will be in the description box below. And we're always here for any questions, any suggestions. We're open for all we're open for all of that. So yeah.
I hope we mentioned everything.
I hope so. I think we did. But if not, you'll let us know. They'll let us know, right? But yeah, so thank you so much for watching our video. Thank you so much for participating in this collaboration. We're both extremely excited about it. I thought I was excited about it, but I think Daniel is a little bit more. He's already got like a pot
I'll show you. I'll show you.
Look at this.
I've got
I
loads
haven't
in
gotten one yet. Well, I've been making my little ones from my puzzle piece blanket. So today I'll be on my squares. So
Yeah.
and I'm excited. So we'll show, and during our lives and stuff, we'll keep talking about the collaboration as well. So, but
Okay.
yeah, so we hope that you have fun doing this. Please let us know and have a safe and crafty day.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Bye. Sorry, guys.